Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power endowed me with human freedom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power has made me Yisrael. Sing praise to God Most High, He blessed, most blessed source of blessing, as Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang this joyous song to you. Bill Carson.
Mi kamocha bo'lim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'adar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, osef ele.
All who come into the world pass before you like sheep before their shepherd. As a shepherd considers the flock when it passes beneath the staff, you count and consider every life. You set bounds, you decide destiny, you inscribe judgments. Bill and Laura Carson.
Rosh Hashanah yechatemun yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yechatemun yechatemun.
On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed.
Teshuvah, utfilah, utzedakah, ma'avirin eroah chag zerah.
But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree.
Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha kein yehi ratzon. May you know God's blessings and shelter and care. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha kein yehi ratzon. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom kein yehi ratzon. May you see God's favor and goodness, and may you partake of God's peace. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. Bill?
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu, Ve'al aleinu, V'tapeinu.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Okay, well, Shana Tova, everyone, again. Nice to see you. Here we are again, reading the story of the binding of Isaac on one of the holiest days of the year, the story in which our patriarch nearly sacrifices his own son. We're going to read a little bit of our text here from the Akedah. I'm going to invite as our first aliyah, Mike and Amy Heron, so they can unmute. Ya'amud Michael ben Avraham v'Sara u'Batya u'Devor al aliyat haTorah.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayhi achar hadvarim ha'eleh ve'ha'elohim nisa et Avraham vayomer elav Avraham vayomer hineni. English, yeah.
And so it was that after these events, God put Abraham to a test. And God said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. And God said, Come, take your son, your only one, whom you love, Isaac, and go forth to the land of Moriah to offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I will show you. And Abraham arose early in the morning and harnessed his donkey and took with him his 2 young servants and his son Isaac. And he split the burnt offering wood and rose and departed for the place that God had said to him.
Blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. For the second aliyah, we'll invite the Dillon family. Ya'amdu mishpachat Dillon aliyat haTorah. So the blessing before, guys.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Yitzchak el Avraham aviv. Vayomer aviv. Vayomer hineni v'ni. Vayomer hine ha'esh v'ha'etzim. Vayehaseh le'olah.
And Isaac said to his father Abraham, he said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Here is the firestone, and here is the wood. But where is the sheep for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, God will see to the sheep for a burnt offering, my son. And the 2 of them walked together. And they came to the place that God had said to him. And there Abraham built the altar and arranged the wood and bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar over the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And a messenger of Adonai called to him from the heaven, saying, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am.
Blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. All right, for our third aliyah this morning, we will invite Nancy Margulis. Ta'amud Chana bar Abraham la'aliyat haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'kabanu b'kol ha'amim, v'natanu lana et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayomer al tishlach yadcha el hanar val ta'as lo me'uma ki ata yadati ki yare Elohim ata velo chasachta et bincha et yechidcha mimeni.
And the messenger said, do not lay your hand on the boy. Do nothing to him, for I know you are in awe of God, since you would not deny me your son, your only one. And Abraham lifted his eyes, and suddenly he saw in the thicket a ram caught by its horns. And Abraham took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering in place of his son. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'chaye olam nata batenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, the Haftarah for this morning is taken from the book of Samuel. It is the story of Hannah, who prays for a son on the steps and is mistaken to be drunk initially, but it's known she's praying truly from her heart. I'm going to invite Ina Lowenberg to read the Haftarah for us. You want me to be seated? Yeah, people can be seated again. Sorry. Ina, whenever you are ready, you need to unmute.
Blessed art you, our God, eternal, supreme power of the universe, who called forth noble prophets to speak the truth. Blessed art you, God of eternity, who delights in the Torah, in Moses, God's servant, in Israel, God's people, and in prophets of truth and right. And there was a man from Ramathaim Tzophim, from the hills of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Yeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Tzuf, an Ephraimite. And he had two wives, one named Hannah, the other named Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, and Hannah had no children.
Thank you, Ina. That was perfect. We're going to now ask Robert Becker to lead the prayers for our congregation, our community, and our country, and for Israel.
Eternal presence, who blessed our mothers and fathers, bless this holy congregation, a house of study, prayer, and righteous deeds. Together we give thanks for our leaders, those who learn, teach, and uphold the Torah, inspiring others to learn, teach, and uphold the Torah. Those who do the sacred work of building our community. May their service bring them joy, fulfillment, and purpose, and may they go from strength to strength.
The precious teaching I have given you, my Torah, do not forsake it. A tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who embrace it know happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew in our time the days of old. Please rise, everyone. We are going to prepare for our Shofar service here. So Bill Gasway, if he wants to get ready for us. Ready, Bill? Tekiah, Shivarim Trua, Tekiah. Tekiah, Shivarim, Tekiah. Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. Hayom harat olam, hayom ya'amod mashpat, ko yitzrei olamim, im kavanim, im kavadim. Today, the world is born anew. This day, the whole of creation stands before you to be judged. As we are your children, love us in the way of mothers and fathers. As we are yours in service, guide us by the light of your justice, grace, and holiness. Tekiah, Shivarim, Trua, Tekiah. Tekiah, Shvarim, Tekiah. Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. Hayom harat olam, hayom ya'amod b'mishpat, kol yetzrei olamim, im kavanim, im kavadim. Today the world is born anew. This day the whole of creation stands before you to be judged. We're going to end here with Ein Keloheinu, everyone. Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom, Happy New Year. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadoneinu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kamoshienu. No Del Eloheinu, no Del Adoneinu, no Del Emalkeinu, no Del Moshienu. Marim Trua, Tekiah. Tekiah, Shivarim, Tekiah. Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah. O God supreme, accept the offering of our lips, the sound of the shofar. In love and favor, hear us as we call to you with the sound of the shofar. Very nice. Thank you so much, Bill. We're going to open up our books for Tashlich. God said to Moses, whenever Israel sins, let them perform this order of service before me, and I will forgive them. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, vilat adam, hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tvilat adam. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. Today we gather here beside these waters to begin the process of cleansing ourselves and washing away our iniquities and transgressions.